Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Larry Kaufman on the line. He's Regional Managing Director over at Experis Finance and also best-selling author of The MCG Factor, a formula for building life-changing relationships from college to retirement. Larry, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Adam. Appreciate it. Great to be here.
Oh, man, I love doing book episodes, and today that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to get into the MCG Factor, and I'm excited to bring this book to my audience and also my readers. But before we do that, just to get into your background a little bit more, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Experis Finance, please.
Sure. I manage sales and operations for the Midwest region. We're part of Manpower Group, big $21 billion public global workforce management company. And we're helping out companies with, challenges and needs they have in the areas of finance, accounting, tax, and the world of risk advisory. So helping out a lot of companies today on a global and national scale.
That's awesome. I want to switch it up a bit. So I want to get into this book. So the MCG Factor, a formula for building life-changing relationships from college to retirement. So first off, to kick it off, what was the inspiration for this book?
Well, I'll tell you, I was thinking about writing a book some years back just for college kids because I think back to what a horrible student I was, and all I did was party and have fun. And, I went to school in Loyola in Chicago, and I really didn't focus on building relationships and being a giver and doing much more beyond that. And so I thought I could take that back to the college kids. And then I realized that it really goes beyond that, and it really takes us all the way to retirement, that a lot of people can use the principles of the formula. And the other inspiration was my wife said, stop investing in these startups that are not returning our money, and I'd like to invest in you and write your book already. So I did that. So my wife was part of that inspiration, too. I have to give her a little credit.
Man, that's awesome. I love it. And so let's go a little, and first off, your story resonates with a lot of people listening, including myself. So I'm thinking to myself about why didn't I have this book when I was in college? I think I lost out and left a lot of great relationships there because I wasn't really focused on that in that pivotal time. So obviously we're not going to have time to get into the entire book, but I do want to pull out a couple of things from this and kind of have you elaborate a little. So first off, for the listeners, the book's laid out really nicely. So I'm looking at the table of contents. Part 1, all about MCG. Part 2, MCG and college to retirement. And it kind of, the way it's laid out, it just all makes sense here. So first off, let's just kick it off with Part 1, Section 1, MCG Revealed. Tell us more.
Well, I think it's really understanding what MCG means. And so it's really a redefinition of networking and understanding how connecting and giving, tie into that whole process. And so, part of the reveal is, we all have a living legacy and we're not around. What does that legacy look like? And I think a lot of us have lived a transactional life and haven't thought about other folks. Even when we network one-on-one or go to events, it's just about social contact exchange. So kind of revealing the MCG factor is to give you this opportunity to self-reflect, rewrite your legacy, and understand the importance of building relationships and stop being transactional and stop thinking all about yourself. It's about thinking about the other person and how you can help other people, and the impact on that could help you grow your business, really change the lives of other people, and in the process, change your life.
Man, I love it. And I found this pretty interesting that you actually have an MCG Factor and LinkedIn chapter. And for me personally, I tell people all the time, I'm like, I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn's changed my life. I mean, I've been on a speaking tour as far away as China because somebody found me on LinkedIn and liked what I was doing. I'm like, it's ridiculous. Like, how does that even happen? LinkedIn has totally created much opportunity and things and relationships for me that I think I'll have for the rest of my life. That being said, what's your take on this MCG Factor and LinkedIn? Because a lot of people listening right now that are on LinkedIn and don't get it yet.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, actually, I've been speaking for 12 years internationally about LinkedIn, so I almost felt compelled I have to incorporate it into my book. But frankly, it made me a better connector. It made me a better giver, and it provides so much information. And I think it's an underutilized tool, and so I found so much value in LinkedIn. I think without it, I'd still be a great connector, but with it, I'm so much better and so much more you can learn about people, even like yourself, so it really allows us to provide our credentials and to see who we know in common and so much more. And so it's been phenomenal for me. I can't describe all the value that it's provided over the years.
Let's focus on maybe some of the for some of the younger listeners right now that are just getting started in their career. So a couple different things that you have in here, and instead of maybe going through these individually, let's kind of give an overview of the spirit behind what you wrote in this. So for the college students, so that transition into college, just starting out, maybe it's the MCG and job transition, or in college. I mean, what kind of message would you want to give to those younger listeners right now?
Well, I mean, we're in interesting times right now. So whether you're in college trying to get that internship or a recent grad, we're seeing a lot of deferral to starts for jobs. And so right now it's so important that we develop relationships. And it's funny, I'm helping out a lot of college kids. I'm helping out parents that maybe are in transition and then finding out that they have kids in transition. So I'm talking with, sometimes all family. And I'm helping them understand the importance while you're in college to get to know your professors. Now we're more virtual these days. That could change. But what a great opportunity to go on LinkedIn, connect with one of your professors. Maybe ask for carve-out time, 30 minutes a month, a semester. Get to know, some of your professors. Great time to even volunteer for charities. And they're still operating virtually, and some are operating in different ways in a live format. And so it's a great time to leverage your skills, be someone that could be a tutor. If you have a great acumen in math or another subject, help out other people, and you could start to build these relationships internally with your fellow, peers and students, teachers. So much more I would have done if I could go back to college. I mean, a lot of things I would change, a lot of things I should have done, but I think from an NCG perspective, so much more that we can do that I want to impart upon the, college kids today entering and then also graduating.
That's awesome. So Larry, final question, two-part question. So first off, a lot of people listening right now, some of them want to learn more about what you're doing over at Experis Finance. What are the types of companies, businesses, and or individuals that are typically a good fit for Experis Finance? And what's the best way for them to connect with you and your team?
Well, I appreciate that. So I would say at Experis Finance, the companies we're working with are middle market corporations to some very large global public and private companies. We work with a lot of finance, accounting, tax executives, people that sit in the internal audit leadership positions in their corporations. And basically the best way to, reach me or my company, I'm the LinkedIn speaker. I'm LinkedIn Larry. So go to my LinkedIn profile. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm in all caps. I'm in the Chicago area. Reach out to me, and my profile says it all better as a speaker. And if you're interested as well in the MCG Factor, it's on Amazon. Look up the MCG Factor on Amazon.
Fantastic. And I'm a sucker for alliteration. LinkedIn Larry. I'm like, man, that's awesome. I can't help it. I'm just a sucker for alliteration. I love it. LinkedIn Larry, it's on. Well, Larry, seriously, though, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more. And congrats again on your book. To all my listeners, definitely go check that out. It was really easy to find on Amazon. You just typed in The MCG Factor comes right up. Definitely pick up a copy of that. And to the audience also, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this episode. If you did and you're a first-time listener, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you back here. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, definitely leave us some comments on the video. Let us know what kind of projects you're working on and hit that subscribe button. And Larry, thanks again for coming on the show. It's been fun.